Hey everyone, welcome. Today we are going to tackle a piece of Korean grammar that you will use all the time. Seriously. It's all about how to say if, and it is an absolute game changer for making your conversations sound so much more natural. So let's just jump right in with the big question, right? You want to say something like, if it's sunny, or if I'm hungry. How do you actually do that in Korean? Well, you are in the right place because that is exactly what we're going to learn today. And the answer is this little guy right here, u-myeon. You pronounce that u-myeon. This is the magic key to unlocking all those conditional sentences. It's your if, it's your when, and it sets up the condition for whatever you're about to say next. Okay, so how do we actually use it? The rule is actually pretty simple, but it does change just a little bit depending on what kind of word you're attaching it to. Let's take a look. This chart breaks it all down for us. It's really logical when you see it laid out. For verbs and adjectives, the rule is exactly the same. So if the word stem ends in a consonant, like the word for to eat, 먹다, you add o-myeon, so it becomes 먹으면. But if the stem ends in a vowel, like to be pretty, 예쁘다, you just add myeon. That becomes 예쁘면. And for nouns, it's even easier. You just pop i-myeon on the end. See? Super consistent. So here's the absolute main thing you need to remember. It all comes down to whether or not there's a final consonant at the bottom, which is called a 받침. If you see a 받침, you add umeon. That little oo sound is like a bridge, you know? It just makes it flow better. If there's no final consonant, you just add myeon. That's it. That is the main rule. All right, enough with the rules. The best way to really get this is to see it in action, right? So let's look at some real sentences. I'm going to read each one for you 3 times, nice and slow, so you can really hear how it sounds. Okay, here's our first one. I want you to just listen. 비가 오면 집에 있을 거예요. Let's hear it again, a little slower. 비가 오면 집에 있을 거예요. And one more time, really listen for that 면 sound. 비가 오면 집에 있을 거예요. So what does it mean? It means, if it rains, I'll stay home. The verb here is 오다, to come. The stem is just o, which ends in a vowel, so we just add myeon to get o-myeon. If it rains. See how simple that is? Okay, next up is a really useful sentence for making plans. Listen closely. 시간이 있으면 같이 영화 봐요. Again, nice and slow. 시간이 있으면 같이 영화 봐요. And one last time, try to say it along with me. 시간이 있으면 같이 영화 봐요. This one means, if you have time, let's watch a movie together. So here we're using the word 있다, which means to have or to exist. Remember our rule. The stem ends in a consonant, so we have to add o-myeon. That's how we get i-sseu-myeon, if there is time. It's the perfect way to make a suggestion. All right, our next sentence is a little word of warning. Let's listen. 많이 먹으면 배가 아파요. Again, hear that cause and effect? 많이 먹으면 배가 아파요. One final time, nice and clear. 많이 먹으면 배가 아파요. And that warning is, if you eat a lot, your stomach will hurt. The verb is 먹다, to eat. The stem is 먹, and it ends with that consonant sound, right? So we add umeon to get 먹으면. If this happens, then that happens. Super logical. Let's do another one, this time about some nice weather. Let's listen. 날씨가 좋으면 산책해요. Let's hear it again. 날씨가 좋으면 산책해요. And once more for good measure. 날씨가 좋으면 산책해요. And this one means, if the weather is nice, I take a walk. Here we're using an adjective, 좋다, which means to be good. The stem ends in a consonant, so we add umeon to get 좋으면. If the weather is good. A perfect, everyday kind of sentence. And for our last example, I've got a little bit of encouragement just for you. Listen carefully to this one. 열심히 공부하면 한국어가 늘 거예요. Let's hear that again. Think of it as a promise. 열심히 공부하면 한국어가 늘 거예요. One last time, let's say it with confidence. 열심히 공부하면 한국어가 늘 거예요. And what is that promise? It's, if you study hard, your Korean will improve. The verb here is 공부하다, to study. The stem 하다 ends in a vowel, so we just add 면, 공부하면. It's the perfect way to connect your hard work to that awesome result you're looking for. You guys are doing great, but listening is only half the journey. The most important part is actually making this grammar yours. So let's talk about how you can start using this, like, today. Okay, the absolute best way to make this stick is to connect it to your life. Think about your day. What do you do if something happens? For instance, 배고프면 밥을 먹어요 means if I'm hungry, I eat. Or 피곤하면 쉬어요. If I'm tired, I rest. Or how about 날씨가 추우면 코트를 입어요? If it's cold, I wear a coat. See? They're simple, they're true for you, and they're perfect for practice. So that brings us to your mission for today. I want you to try and write just 3 sentences about your day using o-myeon. Write them down, but more importantly, say them out loud. What do you do if you're happy? What will you do if it snows? Make it personal. Awesome. Okay, before we finish up, let's do a super quick review of the main points just to make sure everything is locked in. So let's recap. Point 1, o-myeon is your go-to for if or when. Point 2, and this is the big one, remember the sound rule. O-myeon comes after a consonant and myeon comes after a vowel. And finally, remember it's super flexible. It works with verbs, adjectives, and even nouns. And to really let it sink in, let's just listen to our 5 example sentences one last time. Just listen and read along. 비가 오면 집에 있을 거예요. 시간이 있으면 같이 영화 봐요. 많이 먹으면 배가 아파요. 날씨가 좋으면 산책해요. 열심히 공부하면 한국어가 늘 거예요. You did an excellent job today. Just remember, learning the rule is step 1. The real magic happens when you actually start using it. So don't be shy. Make your own sentences, say them out loud. Your voice is really the key to all of this. Keep up the amazing work.